what you're competing in, and just the next step is just moving forward and truly learning from our mistakes. You can't do anything about it but learn from it, so that's what we're choosing to do.
What were the mistakes?
I can only speak offensively. I know that we were moving the ball fine. We just got to convert in the red zone and score and just help our defense out with putting some points on the board.
Is starting the game, faster on offense, is that something you guys have talked about? Because, in the fourth quarter, the past couple of games, you guys have seemed to have some good drives together. But do you start about starting the game the same way?
Yeah, you want to, we like you said, towards the end of the game, when the game's on the line, we play hard and execute. But I think it's very important for us to come out in the beginning, like you said, and execute those plays so we don't have to do that towards the end. We're moving the ball fine. We're just not executing on certain plays or to put us in the end zone.
Is it a mentality thing, or how do you change that?
Definitely a mentality. Understanding that you never know which play is going to cost you a drive, whether it's a false start or a penalty or something like that, or a bad route or something like that, or a misread. So we got to take ownership in each play and understand that we have a job to do on each play.
Do you think we might see a little more up-tempo offense earlier in the game this week, or in general later in the season?
I hope so. We haven't met yet, but I'm hoping so.
How you feeling, Jhamon?
I feel good. I just got done working out, so I feel pretty good.
Everything come back okay?
Yes, sir. I'm good.
It seems like even in the second half, sometimes there are some clock issues with y'all, getting the ball off and everything. Is that something that kind of been the
Before the play starts?
Yeah, even when you're playing from behind and trying to.
Yeah, the goal is to have as much tempo, try to get them as tired as possible playing with our tempo that we practice at. We didn't do that sometimes, and I think that's a big emphasis in this week, and we're pretty sure we're going to hear about it in the film.
Have you talked with Nick Starkel that much this season?
No.
Or this season?
No.
Not at all?
No.
You excited about getting to go up against a former teammate?
Yeah. I think it's just the next opportunity. I like playing, and then this game is a fun game to play in. SEC game also, so I'm excited to play.
How important is it to have a good performance to kind of get the bad taste out of your mouth?
It's very important because it's important that we learn from our mistakes. We can't keep going back and forth and making the same mistakes and not coming out strong and not scoring. So I think there's just, I'm ready for us to learn from our mistakes and stop having to say next time.
Coach Fisher has talked about what a great leader you are for this team. So if you could address the team, what would your message be to him?
I think that, and I'm going to say this, I think the mentality in terms of understanding how important each play is and it sounds cliche, but you never know. A lot of those plays are one block away, but it just happened in the backfield, you know what I'm saying? I think that if you understand that your play, your block, or your catch or your route could be the deciding factor in the game, I guarantee you wouldn't mess it up. So I think that being mature about the situation in the games in the season and understanding that how hard we worked, there's no point of lacking that and having that mental lapse and not understanding that your job is very important to do.
Is there a certain amount of pride on the line knowing that Nick's on the other side to kind of make sure the offense is going and have maybe a little something to prove?
No, I don't think it's like, what was the word you used again?
Pride?
Yeah, I don't think it's a pride thing of Nick. I think it's more so just that you want to win the game. This SEC opponent, we just lost 2 games. So I think that no one's like, if you're a true competitor, no one likes losing. So I think that that's the pride thing about it, and you got to take that very serious.
How do you balance your frustration versus, because there's a lot of football left? I mean, we know you're frustrated.
Yeah. I think the only thing you can look at is just looking at the potential in this team. I mean, it can either be potential that you never fulfill or something that you can fulfill. So I think that's the motivation, knowing that we are capable of winning these games and just helping these young guys. And that's my job. I'm taking ownership of that, helping them and helping them understand what they're capable of and what we can do with this team.
Jhamon, do you sense that there's any doubt or unconfidence creeping into y'all's locker room now?
It's very important that we don't let that creep in as leaders. I'm not saying that that's not a thought, or I don't. It's pretty normal for that to happen for a team to lose 2 games that you thought you can win. So I think it's my job and for some of the leaders' jobs to make sure that we don't lose that family and lose that togetherness that we're supposed to have throughout the season, because we got a long season ahead of us. It could be a great season, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's very important for us to learn from this mistake.
A lot of guys after the game Saturday night were saying, we're a good team, kept repeating that. Why do you feel like you're a good team?
Because, you see these games, and with all the mistakes we're making, we're still in the game. We're never out of the game. So I think that should be from a guy that knows the game and a guy that understands football, you kind of see what's at. You see what you have on your plate. So to say we're not a good team would be something that's not true because I mean, you see the scoreboard. We're not out of the game, and we made so many mistakes. Auburn played a great game, but it's just kind of something you got to look at and say, this is where we can be.
Does your identity on offense need to be tweaked, Jhamon? I mean, if you're not able to run the ball, it's like, all right, screw it, let's just go chunk it 50 times a game? I know that's not what Jimbo wants to do, but at some point, what needs to change to get this offense going?
I think it's very important to be honest I think it's very important for us to be honest with ourselves individually and as an offense to see what kind of team we are, know what we can do and can't do, and also understanding that these guys across from us are just the same as us. So there's nothing we can't do. We're just not doing it. So I think it's very important to understand that we're competing and that man puts on his pants just like you.
You said the offense was one block away, one assignment away from being successful in a lot of plays. Is this offense as complex as it seems from out the outside?
Very complex. But it's nothing more than we can handle. It just comes in. You have to focus. It's a mental strain in our offense. There's always stuff going on, checks and different side adjustments you have to see. So it's definitely complex, but Coach Fisher didn't put anything on the table that we can't handle. We don't practice.
Is this the most complex offense you've ever played in?
For sure.
In the SEC, when all the teams are so good and it does come down to a missed block or a drop pass or something like that, how do you make sure those plays go in your favor and not the other way? Because it seems like Auburn was 1 or 2 plays away from being a win in your guys' side.
Wait, say that again, I'm sorry.
Like when the game's so close and it comes down to one missed assignment or a block, how do you guys make sure those plays, you're making those plays the other team's not, instead of vice versa like it was against Auburn?
I think it's just not having that mental last. I mean, if you understand that this play could win the game, because you never know which play is going to lose the game. So if you go in there with that mentality and play aggressive, I think that you will make those plays because you understand how important it is. And it's not making the moment bigger than what it is, but it's just understanding your job you have to do.
Do you still like playing the neutral site game, or would you rather play home and home with Arkansas?
It's a cool site. I'd rather play in California, obviously, but it's a cool site.
Jhamon, how capable is Kellen to kickstart the run game with his legs and his ability?
He's very athletic. He's a talented runner. I think not just being a quarterback for even if he was a running back. So I think he has the potential to do it. I'm excited to see what Jimbo's going to do with that.
I was going to say, you said it's up to everybody to kind of look at themselves. Do you need the running game in this complex offense for it to be successful, or can you go without it?
I mean, I think that as a receiver speaking, it's definitely easy when you have a run game. I think that is in any kind of offense, you need a run game. You have to balance it up because they can just drop everybody back. And you know what I'm saying? But I think that yeah.
So it would help.
Definitely.
Speaking of the run game, how disappointing is it during the middle of the season for a guy like Deneric to kind of walk away from things, enter the transfer portal when there's a good chance he could have played at some point along the way as well?
Yeah, that's something Coach.
I'm sorry, Jhamon.
That's something Coach harps on a lot. It's kind of like those guys he couldn't get to. You know, those hurt the most because he's a very talented guy, and I wish him the best. But we could use him not because of what happened this weekend, but just because of our offense. You never know who goes down or what may happen. Like Jay Sean went down. You never know what the next guy may be able to do for us.
Is losing Jay Sean bigger than what we didn't overlook it, but is losing him, has it been pretty big?
I think losing any starter that has been in the offense more than 1 year in this offense, there's so many things we have to know, details. So I think that losing he's young, but he's an older guy mentality. So I think it was, for sure.
Last year was the game you went down at Jerry World. How much have you grown since that moment?
So much, man. That was kind of the best thing that happened to me, worst thing that ever happened to me, because I got to sit back and finally see, like, it's different. Now I see what the coaches talk about when they harp on us about things and get mad at us about things. I took that leadership approach during those 4 weeks I was out and became a vocal leader and started to tell guys what I see and what we have to do to be a great team.
Does that make the return, kind of not weird, but kind of bittersweet for you? How's the return for you then?
I mean, I just play with so much passion now. It's just not that I didn't before, but you don't understand how important something is till you lose it. So I know that at any play I could go down, and I want to make sure my teammates know that I'm going to give them all on each play, and there's no doubt that I'm going to do my job on each play.
And then the return to AT&T Stadium, the return to that stadium in particular as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to, I don't know.
A lot of these Arkansas games have been pretty close. Is that kind of what you guys are expecting going into this? And I mean,
No. I mean, I don't think you want to have a close game with anybody, but you got to understand who you're going against. We're playing the SEC, so any game could be very close. We just want to dominate, coming out from the jump and just dominate, because there's no reason why we shouldn't be dominating the game. It's not that, like, matchup-wise, we're not there. It's just a matter of doing your assignment on each play. So
In the second half, we kind of saw Kellen. I think he threw that back shoulder ball to you, and he got real pumped up. From that point on, he kind of seemed like he was like, "Let's go!" Like he's trying to will you guys to victory. You sense that he can maybe do that more?
Yeah, we feed off Kellen. Like those games last year, we won those late games, or even the Clemson game we lost last year. The passion Kellen had, we feed off that, and I've been trying to tell him that's very important to have, because we feed off you, and you don't understand how big of a leader you are to us.
Is he more vocal than he shows on TV?
He is. It seems as he's more focused than, it's not like he's quiet, but I think that he truly understands that his voice is very needed. So I think he tries to make that a very big point.
That's grown then over
for sure,
time?
for sure.
Do you think he's feeling the pressure of what's going on the offense, and then some of the criticism that's comes out, or do you think he's even aware?
It's not pressure, because it's just football. At the end of the day, like, the crowd can't come down and play with us. So it's not like this pressure. It's just more so of it just sucks when you don't have those opportunities back. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's pressure. Just understanding what you have to do as a man. And we're 20, 21 years old, so it's just what we signed up for. So we're trying to have fun with this.
In film review, how good was he when you consider there was no run game? He was constantly in second, third, and long, yet he made a bunch of plays.
It just shows you what kind of person he is. That's why we never give up on him, because we know what he can do. It's kind of dumb to say he's not a good quarterback when he does stuff like that, but that's the reason why we just remove our stuff from the social media, all the type of stuff, because no one's put the work in with this. I know what he's capable of, so I trust everybody on that team. That's why I truly say we're a good team.
Do you think it's more important now to not listen to the social media with all the negative stuff, for you guys to really focus on the rest of the season?
Yeah, and that's what we did in the fall camps, to train our brains to understand we don't need it. So the goal was to fall camp, get off of it, and I'm still off of it, and now you understand why you're off. You're not just getting off because it's a team rule. So I think that it truly does something for you mentally, and self-validation is not needed when you're playing a game that only a few can do. This is a very tough game. It's a collision sport, not a contact sport, like you said. So not everybody can't do it. So understanding that, all you need is everybody in that staff and on that field.
You used the word dominate earlier. What would a dominating performance from you guys on Saturday do for the mentality and the psyche of the team right now?
This would be huge. I mean, just creating an identity. 3-4 games in, I think our struggle is to understanding who we truly are, and I say that because if you know what you're capable of, you won't make certain mistakes, and you will make certain plays. So I think that dominating the opponent and understanding that, like, don't take your foot off his neck once you get up is very important for us.
Speaking of psyche, what kind of Arkansas team do you think you're going to face after they're coming off a loss to San Jose State?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about that too much, to be honest.
Okay.
Only because we just got done with this, but today's our film review for Auburn. But later in the week, I'll probably give you a better answer for that.
All right, so.
Yeah.
It's clear you're probably the vocal leader of this team, at least perceptionally. Who has impressed you from that standpoint vocally on this team? Buddy Johnson. Yeah. He controls that D. Keldrick Harper. Michael Clemens, obviously, very opposing guy. And then even though Jay Sean's out, he's doing a great job of being there. You know what I'm saying? That's very important. Like, that's what I tried to do when I was hurt. And I'm very impressed with him being hurt and being a younger guy, taking that approach and just knowing it's not about him.
Are you advising him kind of on what's the best practice to go through this injured season from what you were able to do?
I haven't yet, because he hasn't gotten to that point. He got out of surgery, but I will definitely plan on doing that. Yes, sir.
Did the offense make a lot of the same mistakes against Auburn that you made against Clemson, or not?
That's a good question. I think in certain plays we did. We haven't went in detail on every play yet. We haven't had our film review, but I think that in terms of execution, not the same plays, but they're open plays. We're just not completing them and executing them, so I think I can say yes on that.
You said Kellen Mond's growing more as a vocal leader. Do you think he needs to be even more vocal than he is now for this team to get to where it needs to be?
I think that whatever his potential is in terms of in that aspect, so if he can be, I think there's no one level, but the most he can do, I think that he should bring it all in each time.
You think he is?
Yeah, I mean, I think I know Kellen truly cares. I know that for sure because I lived with him for five years, so I know that he cares. You know, we put in a lot of work, so I don't think anybody wants that to slip.
The offense will play good, Jhamon, and then obviously the defense will play good, but you can't play good together in spurts. You just haven't seen a lot of that.
Yeah, that's the goal. You just want, I mean.
How does that happen more?
Just coming together. I think that if we, and not necessarily like on the field, but I think off the field, just staying that family and don't get segregated, offense, defense, just become one team and knowing that, hey, if we don't score this time, we got y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's not like pointing fingers. We're not trying to point fingers at anybody. So we're just trying to come together as a team and understanding who we are.
I feel like an 11 a.m. start's good for you guys to get the juices going, just go out and play football. And
yeah, I'm actually excited because you don't have to wait for the game, so I'm ready to get that going.
You feel like you guys just need that juice and some tempo early to get things rolling, get momentum going?
Yeah, they're going to start this week in practice, so we're going to get this week going, and the beginning of practice is going to be very big because it translates over to the game, so we're going to come out and practice and come energized and come juiced up. Yes, sir.